Hi, my name's Jonathan Hicks. I'm back at the Dice Cup. Today I'm joined by Steve, and we just finished playing The Fox in the Forest, which is a two-player trick-taking game. So you can see I have a big hand of cards here. You have 13 cards, and there's one card put face up in the middle, which is the trump suit. There's only actually 3 suits. You can see you've got the keys, the sort of salt shaker tower things, and then the moons. So on your turn, you play a card. I'm going to lay this out. Normally this would be kept secret, obviously, but let's say I decide to play the 4. Then Steve has to follow suit, so if he has one of the tower things, he has to play it, otherwise he can play anything he likes. He decides to play the 7. Now, because he's played a higher card, he kind of wins the trick. But as well as that, there are some special abilities on some of the cards. And this one says the winner of the trick receives a point for every 7 in the trick. So Steve would win the trick, and he gets an extra point from the supply. Obviously trying to get as many points as you can. And now because he won the trick, he leads the next trick, which means he plays first. He's played a key, which means I have to play a key. But the 11, the special ability on this one, says if you lead this, then your opponent has to play the highest card or the 1. So I look, do I have the 1? I do, so I've got to play that. If I didn't, I would have to play my 7, which would be bad, because then Steve would then get another point.
I think you've got a choice, actually.
So they must play either the 1 or the highest. Oh yeah, so I could play the key, but playing the key would be bad, because then Steve would get the point. So I play the 1, but the 1 has a special ability as well. If you play this and lose the trick, which I'm just about to do, you lead the next trick. So although Steve wins that one, because I played my 1, now I get to lead a trick. And you carry on going, playing all your cards like this, until you've each won a certain number of tricks. Now, you then consult the scoring thing. Now, if they won more tricks than you, they're going to score more points than you. So for example, if they get 7, 8 or 9 points, they're going to get 6. So maybe they got 9 tricks and you got 4 tricks, so you'd get 1 point for having 4 tricks, but because they got 9 tricks, they would get 6 points. They'd be victorious and you were defeated. However, if they win too many tricks, if Steve gets 10, 11, 12 or 13 tricks, he gets no points because he's greedy. And if I get 0 to 3 tricks, I get 6 points for being humble. So you kind of want to win more tricks than your opponent, but not too many more, otherwise suddenly you get no points and they're getting all the points. So there's a very interesting score system here. Now it's the odd cards, this reference also tells you all the special ability. It's only the odd cards that actually have the special abilities. So just to mention a couple of the other ones, the 9 is a very powerful card. When you play the 9, it counts as a trump. So if Steve had led a moon card, any kind of moon card, like a high one maybe, yeah, in theory I would lose this one because 10 beats 9. But the 9 always counts as a trump, so obviously trumps beat anything else, so I would actually win this trick, so that's what the 9s do. The 5s are very interesting. When you play a 5, it doesn't do anything by itself, but then after you've played it, you get to take another card from the deck. And you look at this, along with all your other cards, then you discard one of your cards. So it lets you kind of alter your hand. Maybe I decide for some reason I want to try and lose as many tricks as I can, so I'm going to get rid of this one, and it just goes then on the bottom of the deck like that. So that's what the 5 does, and I think we've covered most of the cards. Oh, there's the fox, the all-important fox in the forest. So when you play a fox, you can actually change the trump suit. So you'd play that as part of whatever trick was happening, but then if you for some reason didn't want keys to be trumps anymore, you could swap out this one. Maybe you've got lots of moons, you'd take this, and now the moons will be the new trump suits. You can actually change the trumps during the round. So you carry on playing until you play the 13 tricks, and typically you play it over a certain number of rounds. So you score after each round, and then it's first to 21 points typically will be the winner. What do we think?
I think it's fantastic. I come from a family of card players who used to play whist and hearts and solo and all that stuff on an evening at my home. So I grew up with a deck of cards, and then you move into board gaming and someone brings out this new novel trick-taking game and you play it and you think, yeah, it's not as good as what you can do with a pack of cards. And as someone who plays bridge as well, I really rate kind of a trick-taking game that has skill. It isn't just about who was dealt the best hand. And in this one, is like that. It's so good. The abilities on the cards give you scope throughout the play to kind of modify what you're doing. You think, if I've got a good hand, it's not necessarily about making the most tricks. If I think I've got a good hand, I'm probably going to make more tricks than them. It's about making sure they win 4. Because if they don't win at least 4, you're going to score nothing. And when you've got a ropey hand, you've got to think, well, if he's going to try and let me win a few cheap ones, can I then get enough to make 7 so I get the 6 points? Or can I potentially, if he's making me win things, can I play a 5 to discard my 11 of trumps and pick something rubbish up or something like that? Can I swap the trump suit to something I think my opponent's got a lot of that I haven't got many of? I think it's great. I think hand evaluation is really good. You pick up your hand and you immediately you're there at the very start. At least I am anyway. Evaluating what sort of hand is this? Is this a hand where I'm trying to win 0 to 3? Is this a hand where I'm going to struggle to get 7? Or is it a hand where I need to make sure my opponent gets 0 to 3? Can I modify the situation some way? And then just the 7s in play. You've always got to be careful. Right? I have not got the 7 of this suit, so I don't want to lead 4. Because then my opponent gets a free point with a 7. If I've got the 11, 10, 9 and 8, I can play the 11, and then if they haven't got a 1, they have to follow suit with the 7, and then I can play my 4 or something like that. So every decision's nice. It's a great little game. It is not a game for people who like trick-taking games, and it is a 2-player only game, so it is limited in the scope of what it is. But if you're a couple that like playing little card games at home, I think it's a great game.
Rating?
I think it's brilliant. 9 out of 10.
Okay. Yes, it is very good, and Steve is very good at bridge, so when it comes to playing this, he always beats me. But that, I think, says a lot about the quality of the game. I'm reasonable at trick-taking games, but Steve is really, really good. There's a lot to this, a lot more than it first appears, but it's still very satisfying to play. So, when you first start, you're playing your few tricks at the start, you're like, do I have enough to kind of go for it and try and beat them, or do I want to, is it such a bad hand that I just want to try and lose as many tricks as possible? But you find to start with, you're kind of gauging what kind of hand he has. Is he trying to win? Is he trying to lose? Because obviously if they're trying to lose all the tricks, you don't want to win all the tricks, so you're suddenly trying to lose tricks that you would have previously been trying to win. So that point at which you realise, are they trying to win? Are they trying to lose? And maybe it shifts halfway through the game, depending on what the trump suit is. There's a lot going on. It's really, really interesting. For a 2-player trick-taking game, it doesn't get better than this. For a 2-player card game, I'm not sure it gets better than this either. It is really, really good for the kind of game that it is. I'd be on an 8.5 out of 10. Alright, thanks for watching. That was The Fox in the Forest.